Hey y'all, welcome to Dungeons 101 with Erica. Today we're going to be doing Tomb of the Nine Gods. We're going to focus on trying to achieve one of these achievements throughout running it. It's going to be either killing all of the tomb dwarfs or killing none of them. We're going to go and kill all of them, that way we can just show you where they all are. When you first enter into the dungeon, there's a puzzle right off the bat. You have to determine which one of these paths you want to go down. And in order to do that, you run up to the walls and stuff, and you're going to be looking for a face over the side of that, over the walls on each one of the walls. That's what the face looks like. You couldn't really see it as I approached because it was kind of hidden off to the side a little bit. But that's what it does look like whenever you do identify it. Once you've determined your path that you're going to go down, you're just going to progress through and kill these adds and mobs that pop up as you're going through. There's going to be a couple sets of them until you make your way into the next puzzle room. When you enter into this room, in order to solve this puzzle, you have to take a look at these 3 squares that are on the ground, and you have to match them to the pictures on the wall, and just walk up and touch the little coffin that matches that picture and press it, and then it will solve that portion of the puzzle. There's 3 of them that you have to go through and do for this section, so you want to make sure that you take note of the images on each side. You guys can separate and do it, or you can all stay together and do it, depending on if you have a newer group that may aggro all of the mobs, or whatever. That way you can make sure everybody tries to sort of stay safe as you progress through that puzzle. These guys told me that there was a secret achievement, and it was a lie. If you touch that, it just knocks you back. Going into this next room, you always want to make sure that you let your tank lead, because there's going to be 2 wraiths that spawn right there, and if they latch onto you, they kind of suck the life out of you, so you want to make sure that they grab the tank. That way he has a lot more survivability than you do as DPS, so it's better if they grab him. And then also, if you're the healer and they grab you, you can't heal yourself, so you'll probably die. As you enter into this next puzzle room right here, this is the color potions puzzle. There's going to be a set of tomb dwarfs. That's your first set of tomb dwarfs located right there. If you don't kill them before they exit the room, then you'll have to set off the trap to do that. In order to solve this puzzle, all you do is just take turns drinking these potions, and you can either use your party chat in game or Xbox Party and just communicate with one another and let the person that drank the potion know what color they have so that they can just go step on that platform. When you finish that puzzle, you're going to progress through into this Orcus chamber, I guess you would call it, and you're going to kill the sets of adds on each side. When you get to this last set of adds, be careful, because there's going to be another wraith that spawns, and it can just willy-nilly grab one of you. I unfortunately am just caught here in this, as you can see, while it just sucks the life out of me, and everyone stands idly by and nearly lets me die. It's fine. I'm fine. Once you get all of those adds cleared out and killed, you're going to work your way around to this side over here, and there's going to be 3 keys that you have the option to pick up. One of them is an overshield. The other one is decreased damage to Orcus and increased damage to adds. That should not be the tank that picks that one up. The last one is increased damage to Orcus and less damage to adds, and does a damage over time. Your highest CPS usually wants to pick up that 3rd one. I grabbed the gold one here just so I can demonstrate what you do when you have the gold one for the purposes of this video. For the most part on Orcus, you just want to kill these little skeleton adds that spawn up and make sure that you dodge his red cone attacks. He will do a couple of phases where he just jumps in and out and goes up in the sky and bounces back down. When you see a green line spawn, whoever took that overshield needs to intercept that Orcus ball that's going to be attached to one of the players, because if that ball reaches the player and hits the player, that player is going to get one shot by that Orcus ball. Just continue fighting through Orcus until he reaches 0 health, killing the adds and intercepting the Orcus balls as they spawn. Make sure you stay out of those cons attacks as well. Once Orcus is defeated, just finish off killing those adds that he spawned, and then exit through the little yellow portal over there to the side, and you'll just make your way through the door. Once you open through this door and you reach this next set of staircases, there's going to be a tomb dwarf on the right here. That one's often missed if you're going for that achievement, so make sure that you kill that dwarf as you pass by, because if you miss him, you won't get the achievement. Continue progressing through the dungeon and killing the adds and the enemies that spawn in here. There's just a grave master right there that you'll work past killing. When you go through this door right here, there's a pack of mobs, and then also the 3rd set of dwarfs is 1 dwarf that you want to make sure that you want to kill that guy as well. Once everything in this room is defeated, you'll continue through the dungeon going into this next room. It's This is the next puzzle that you're going to face. It is a sequence puzzle. There's going to be 4 hidden switches and 2 manipulate switches. In order to solve the puzzle, you have to get the sequence right. So you'll try all of the hidden switches first, going through trying to get them in order. I got lucky on this attempt and I managed to pick the correct ones. Usually one person will go through with a second person following behind them. That way if the first person selects the wrong one, the second person can just go to another one and try a different one. After you choose all 4 correct ones, you'll then choose a manipulate switch to trigger the puzzle, and then that will either solve it or not. If your manipulate trigger didn't solve the puzzle, then the person that is following behind you will just easily select the second one and solve the puzzle. When you go into this next room, it's the bridge, and you want to make sure that you jump through this little gap right here. If you cross over the bridge, it just summons more adds down here at the bottom, and you'll have to fight more dinosaurs and more adds in this area. The next tomb dwarf that we're going to be looking for our achievement is located down here at the bottom of the bridge as well. He's hidden and not in a clear line of sight or anything, so a lot of people don't know to kill this one in order to get that achievement. But once he is dead, you'll just come back out and make sure that you clean up the rest of these adds, and then climb up the ladder and progress through killing adds and just making your way into the next puzzle room. The final puzzle room that you're going to come up to is going to be another color potions, where you'll just have 2 people drinking the potions in order to solve it, if you want to solve it. For the purposes of this video, we triggered the trap right here in here, just to show you guys what happens. There's 3 options. One, you'll just go through the rooms fighting a set of enemies, or you'll have where the door collapses and some stones will come down, and each player will have to take turns picking up the rocks and moving them over to the pile so that you can go through the door. And the last option is like it's kind of like a guessing game, where there will be 3 tiles laying across the floor, and you have to choose which tile is the safe path over a series of sections, and if you choose the wrong one, it resets you back at the beginning. So if you trigger the trap and you don't solve the puzzle and trigger the trap, then you just have to do one of those 3 scenarios each time if you do that rather than the puzzle. Once you've solved that final puzzle or gone through that trap, whether you triggered it or not, you'll come into this next section where it's called Explore the Inner Workings of the Dungeon. Really, all this means is just kill all these mobs. You're going to go around, there's going to be 3 sets of mobs that you'll kill around these corners. Once you complete that, you'll just make your way through and out of here and up to the second boss, which is going to be Withers. When you fight Withers in this dungeon, you'll fight him in 2 different stages. You'll fight his control station, and then you'll fight Withers himself once the control station is destroyed. When you enter into this boss right here, you want to stay like front and back side of him. You don't want to stray off to the sides or anything, because you have the potential to trigger these different traps that are in here that'll set off like these elemental traps such as fire or water or electricity. If one of those traps gets triggered, you can turn it off by traveling up the stairs and finding the tomb dwarf that is controlling that and killing the tomb dwarf, and that will end the trap sequence. Some DPS, if you come in here and a trap gets triggered, if you have the high enough DPS in here, you can just continue fighting through the fight and without having to turn the traps off. We came in here on bank tunes and only 4 of us, so that we could try to make sure that we triggered everything in order to discuss it in the video. Throughout the fight, you'll also have these ghost phantom hands that will grab and hold on to people. Withers will also do like a punch down from the sky onto people, and he'll also make a hand swirl around the control station too that does a knockback to anyone that's in there. And usually whenever that knockback happens is when those traps get set off. So just make sure that you free anyone that's trapped in hands throughout the duration of the fight, and just turn off the traps if you want to. If you have the DPS and you don't need to, then just kill the control station. Once the control station is dead, Withers will be outside of the bubble, and then you'll just kill Withers directly. He has a very small amount of health. It does not take very much to kill him. And once he's defeated, just continue up the stairs and through the door and progress through the dungeon. You'll have a couple of packs of mobs that you'll need to kill in this next room before you go up these stairs and fight your last section of tomb dwarfs. The last section of tomb dwarfs is actually a lot of tomb dwarfs. So whenever you trigger them, you want to make sure that everybody's there and everybody's ready and the tank's ready to grab some aggro on them. You can actually go through that last door right there before the last boss if you want to, and then just kind of funnel them out of there, and it makes it a little less damaging, I guess, to the DPS if you do it that way. We just go in here crazy style and die a bunch of times on this one just for funsies, but once you hit one of them, they all wake up and they all start attacking. So you just want to be aware of that whenever you set these last tomb dwarfs off. As you get ready to face Ras Nsi, the third boss of T9, if you notice that you have lower DPS, there's a couple of things that you can do to help you out to make sure that you can get through this boss and through the wipe mechanic. If you have a T-Rex or a music box, you can slot those in so that the T-Rex will eat the souls that will spawn later that I'll talk about, or you can use a music box artifact and that will one-shot those souls as well. When you enter into Ras Nsi, you want to make sure that you position yourself opposite side of the tank because she has a couple of big swing hits, or whatever it is, that will do damage to you if you're on the same side of the tank. The healers can run a cleanse power in here to clear those electric stuns off of people to paralyze. Whenever this giant face spawns, you want to make sure that you're on the opposite side of the map because it does like this sucking motion that if you're close to the edge over there on that side of the face, that you'll just fly off of the map and you'll die, but you're able to be res, but you just want to avoid that death if you can. When Ras Nsi does his AoE attack right there, you want to make sure that you're close, and that always signals the spawn of the ads and the souls. Here's where you would use your Rex to eat those souls if you have the lower DPS, or a music box will also kill them. Continue the fight with Ras Nsi, staying out of the red AoEs and opposite side of the tank. You'll just basically be dodging red AoEs, healers cleansing whenever they can, making sure that you're on the opposite side of the face for the push, pull, or it's really a pull mechanic, I guess you would say. If any souls are not killed whenever they spawn up and they just sacrifice themselves or whatever it is they do, you'll get an added charge into the Soulmonger charge over there on the right side of the screen. You have to keep that charge from getting full. You want to get Ras Nsi all the way down to 30% health before the Soulmonger charge gets full. If it fills up before then, it's going to be a wipe for the team. It's going to just kill you all instantly, and then you'll have to restart the fight. So you always want to make sure that you're killing these souls at whatever cost, whether that means your DPS is killing them, you're using the Rexes to eat them, or your music box is gobbling them up. Either way, any which way, just make sure that you kill him before that bar fills up. Once Ras Nsi reaches 30% health, he will activate the Cry of the Atropole, and he will use whatever amount of charge that's in that Soulmonger charge over there to just try to kill you guys. The higher the charge is, the more damaging that hit will be to you all. So you really want to try to keep it as low as possible. But just so long as it's not full, you guys will be fine and just be able to continue on in the fight. You'll continue, he'll do a couple of more little phases, and you'll get some more some souls can still spawn after this point. It's not as important to kill these because he'll only do that Cry of the Atropole the one time, I believe. Once all of this is defeated, you'll have one more face that will spawn up once his health bar is at 0, and that will be the one that pulls Ras Nsi off of the side of the map and kills him good and for all. Once he is defeated, if you killed all of those tomb dwarfs, the achievement should pop. They shouldn't have died the first time, and you'll get the Undead Completionist title. The key for this dungeon is the Chultan key that can be obtained in the Chult campaign. If you don't have the currency, you can always use a genie's gifts to buy the bags in the campaign store. I hope you all enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you all get some good loot. Bye!